Welcome to another explainer by Forge College. Today, we're going to treat your reflective essay less like a standard homework assignment and much more like a high-precision engineering blueprint. You know, writing an essay about blockchain philosophy usually involves staring at a blank page, just kind of hoping the crypto gods bless you with sudden inspiration. Well, not today. Instead, we're taking your raw, messy draft and assembling it into a high-powered, submission-ready machine.
So, first off, take a deep breath. You aren't starting from scratch today. As you'll remember, you've already done the heavy lifting in our previous lesson, designing your reflective argument. You've got the rough draft in front of you. Now this final lap, it's simply about tightening the bolts and making sure this thing actually runs without, catching fire.
Here is your literal assembly line schematic for today's factory floor. We'll start with the capstone blueprint. Sharpen up that thesis, tighten your evidence, lock in ethics and trade-offs, run a rigorous quality assurance test, and then finally, ship it for submission.
Okay, Section 1, the capstone blueprint. Let's gather your raw materials. Think of this phase as bringing a chain of skills together. Step 1 is pulling up your draft and outline from Lesson 3. Step 2 is layering in that rich philosophical vocabulary you mastered back in Lessons 1 and 2, words like trust, decentralization, agency, and provable execution. By combining these core components, you're moving to Step 3, which is transforming those early notes directly into your beautifully finished capstone essay.
Moving on to Section 2, sharpening the thesis. This is where we build the core engine.
Listen, a sprawling 3-sentence thesis draft is basically an engine that's leaking oil all over your driveway. It loses pressure, makes a huge mess, and honestly, it just confuses the reader. Your goal right now is to compress that multi-sentence mess into a single high-powered cylinder that states exactly why blockchain matters and the very specific real-world problem it solves.
Now check this out. This brilliantly illustrates a perfect compressed thesis. Notice how razor-specific it is? It names the exact use case, supply chain provenance, and bolts it down with precise philosophical vocabulary. Distrustful parties, tamper-evident timestamps, shared state. It's just beautifully engineered. Once you have this, you want to follow it immediately with a short 80 to 120-word justification paragraph to act as the guidepost for the rest of your essay.
All right, Section 3, tightening your evidence. Time to secure the bolts.
With the engine running, we need to make sure nothing rattles loose. Swap out any flimsy, vague references for precise citations. I mean, we really don't want to hear a lot of people on the internet say blockchain is secure. No way. We need actual empirical data and protocol behaviors. Actually, if your draft is looking a little thin on data, just bolt on a short 100 to 150-word real-world case study. It'll give your argument massive structural integrity and prove your philosophy works in practice.
Let's hit Section 4, ethics and trade-offs. We are installing the safety features.
You have to explicitly map out the side effects of your proposed solution. Using a mapping technique like this helps you connect potential harms directly to your mitigation strategies. And look, acknowledging that decentralization might, say, decrease user privacy, that isn't a weakness in your argument. It's a vital safety check that proves you're a responsible architect who understands how design choices impact real people. Alongside those ethics, your 200 to 300-word limitation section absolutely must list 3 realistic constraints. You need a technical constraint like scalability or latency, a governance constraint like how validators are selected, and a social constraint like adoption barriers. Explaining why these limitations don't completely derail your application actually strengthens your argument. It demonstrates grounded intellectual honesty. Almost there. Section 5, quality assurance testing. The final factory inspection. So the absolutely crucial point here is your word count limit. You are aiming for a highly efficient 1,000 to 1,500 words, and that is exclusive of your bibliography. Keep it tight, keep it focused, and stay within spec. Rambling is definitely not going to earn you extra points here. Precision will. Okay, yes, the dreaded Times New Roman endurance test is mandatory. Make sure your document matches these exact technical specifications before you even think about exporting your PDF. Font size, line spacing, consistent academic citations with full web links, and of course, that strict file name convention. I know formatting might seem a bit trivial, but failing to follow a basic spec sheet means your product gets rejected right at the door. Next up, the revision log. I want you to think of this as your software release notes. If you incorporated peer reviews to improve your argument structure or to add fresh evidence, you must declare those upgrades in this vital piece of documentation.
It's simply a one-paragraph record appended to the final submission that details the 2 most important substantive changes you made since your rough draft.
Now execute this 3-step final checkpoint pass to guarantee every single category meets expectations or higher. Grade yourself against the rubric, verify your structure, and confirm you've actually incorporated that peer feedback. This level of meticulous self-review is the exact standard we champion across all Forge College pathways, so please do not skip it.
Finally, Section 6, Submission and Beyond. Let's ship this product.
You are going to package all of this up by embedding a 1-paragraph metadata header right inside your PDF's front matter. This acts as your final official stamp of approval. It just needs 1 sentence asserting your original authorship, 1 sentence restating that beautiful, compressed thesis we worked so hard on, and a final sentence confirming you've passed the rubric self-assessment. It's an incredibly clean, professional way to hand over your work.
And you know, archiving your hard work today perfectly sets the stage for our next exciting lesson, motivations and social roots of the cypherpunk movement. Because now that you have a firm grasp on the philosophy and practical trade-offs of modern Web3 systems, you are perfectly positioned to look back in time and critically analyze the wild, visionary ideas that started this whole thing.
So, congratulations on engineering a brilliant essay. Be sure to check out the wider learning ecosystem and other amazing Web3 courses by visiting forge.college. But before you go, ask yourself this. As you hit submit on this essay, are you just passing a class, or are you laying the intellectual foundation for the next generation of the internet? Thanks for joining this explainer, and we'll see you in the next one.